Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here with Jason Blaha Strength and Fitness, and today I want to chat with you guys and gals a little bit about real world strength, or functional strength as many people like to call it. Sometimes I think it's a funny term, but a quick reminder, if you guys will please click like down below and drop me a comment, I would appreciate it so much. I would make the argument that sometimes this gets overhyped, it gets a little overplayed. I do appreciate where people were coming from with it, though. Essentially, it's taking people away from machines and saying, hey, what sort of movement patterns are actually going to make you strong, like outdo in the real world, that might carry over to some type of work, carry over to sports, things like that. That's what they're saying, because all strength is technically functional. I mean, let's be realistic here, right? And as much as I might say, machines can be very limited, isolation work can be very limited, if you get really, really strong on machines, for example, right? Let's say you did nothing but hammer strength machines. Are you still going to be stronger than someone who's never trained at all these different activities? I think the answer is yes. Okay, so we do need to be clear that there is a lot of strength that is universal to some extent. So again, I am by no means a purist on this idea. And that's kind of the point I want to make here. I am absolutely not being a purist. I am not saying, oh, only these certain types of patterns are functional. I'm not going to make that claim. I'm not going to make that claim. But what I will say is, if you think in terms of being able to get up and push or pull against stuff, or the real world, what really are we talking about? I think we can make a case for any of the 6 movement patterns. I think we can make a case for a loaded carry, and some stuff should be obvious. When we think about functional strength, would it help you in a survival situation? Would it help you in a scuffle? Is it just going to help you pick up stuff and move stuff and make life easier? Are you going to have good bone density and everything? Is it going to improve conditioning overall? And I think certain movement patterns are going to lend themselves more to this than others. The obvious one, I started right up at the start of the video. You saw me start with a loaded carry, right? Got like 100 pounds in each hand, walking up and down the sidewalk, gripping it. Like that one, I think we all universally agree. Something like a loaded carry, I don't care what school of thought you have on this. Every single one of us look at that and go, you know what? That's a really good way to train. If I want to bring in all the groceries in one trip, man, that's going to have some high specificity of training for that, right? And I mean, really, guys, really, if we talk about real world strength for us in, civilized first world countries, I must say that's probably the top of our list. I mean, we're not going to be fighting bears with our bare hands. But man, we might have to carry those groceries all in one trip. So I'm going to say right off the bat, in terms of your ability to function in today's real world, man, the loaded carry is king, because that's going to let you get all the groceries in one trip. And that might be, for many people, the most arduous task and heroic and Herculean task they undertake all week. And I'm being a little tongue-in-cheek, but I'm also being dead serious. I mean, realistically, how many of the dudes, suburb dads out there, come on guys, how many of you really place a lot of your manhood in that ability to bring all the groceries in one trip? I mean, I am being serious to some extent. We can think of that as funny, but there's a degree of truth to it. You know what? If you wanted to be really good at bringing all the groceries in one trip, man, a loaded carry like that builds your grip, builds all your ability to pick it up, carry it, hold it under load. It's going to give you good conditioning. It's going to get you. It's good stuff, man. It's good stuff. I'm gonna put that right up at the top of the list. But I think we can put any standing exercise or anything that moves your body through space. Like particularly so I like my bench. I like my incline bench. We could argue they don't have the greatest functional strength. I think they would for punching and fight. So if we're going to talk a lot of sports, yes. But outside of, say, the ability to push something like that, how much of that could be handled with overhead pressing? What are your big ones then? Deadlift, squat pattern movements. That's really going to give you the most strength. That's going to carry over to stuff. Overhead pressing. You got to push stuff up over your head. How about pull-ups? I think pull-ups are going to count. Why? Because if you got to pull yourself up something, pull yourself up a tree, pull yourself up a ledge, climb up something, man, getting strong at pull-ups is real useful. I mean, even if you got to push back up over maybe a dip. So of course, we could argue rows here also off the floor, but doesn't deadlifts really kind of cover that? But it's still a standing movement. Like anything that's going to build power transfer from the floor is good. But if I were to narrow some of these down, you know, what's really going to be the big ones? Like, what would I really say? Where's the real money? Overhead press or a push press, a squat, a deadlift. Pull-ups have to be in there. And notice I said pull-ups, not even a chin-up. Like, so if you're really looking at where, again, we come over to, you might need to pull yourself up something, guys. Like, that's a basic one. Loaded carries, though, top of the list. How about the sled work? I mean, realistic, if we're going to narrow it down and talk about really, truly functional patterns that are going to carry over, I'm going to go with a sled, a pushing and pulling a sled of some type, which you'll see me do here later. Okay, right? I'm going to say a loaded carry, definitely. Squats and deadlifts. And a deadlift is going to be the common sense, is the ability to move a heavy weight off the floor. The squat's going to give you most of your leg strength, ability to transfer it. Does it have to be a back squat? No, I think any squat pattern works. I think a Zercher squat, a front squat, I think they can all work there. I think they can all work. I think any type of deadlift could really work. So do we even have to do the classic powerlifts ones? I think some sort of overhead press, particularly a push press. How about if you clean it in a bit? How about a clean and push press? Some sort of squat, some sort of deadlifts. So a pull-up, definitely a pull-up. I say those are your big four. Now, could we make the case for a bench press for pushing stuff away from you? I think we can. But man, if you get really good at push pressing and overhead pressing, and you can get that downward angle, especially if you get used to pushing it with a sled again, you know, I feel like that's still largely covered. I mean, so what are your most functional patterns, really, for just real-world strength? Those four movements, and then some sort of sled and a loaded carry. A sled or a prowler, a loaded carry. Like, you get really good at those 6 things. And like I said, the squat can be, I mean, my God, it could be a Zercher squat if you really want. I mean, that's a pretty functional. Think about just getting stuff up off the floor and whatever. I mean, we can make a good case for that. This is your functional strength. Now, that being said, could you just get strong in general, though, and conditioned in general? Sure. And there's all going to have carryover. But if you want the stuff that's going to probably have the highest specificity to your ability to carry the groceries in one trip, which really is, there's our king of what we're going to ever do day to day is a legendary real world thing, is that grocery trip, man. I think these will get it done.